The doctor is in. Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I want to do a video revisiting Hellraiser and Hellbound Hellraiser 2, the two movies. Now, I've done a whole bunch of horror movie franchise videos, and a lot of those were based on memories and personal history. And some of these movies I haven't seen in a long time. And then I found out that Hellraiser and I keep wanting to say Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. It's supposed Hellraiser and Hellbound Hellraiser 2. I might just say Hellraiser 2 are on are on Netflix. So I decided to check them out again because I haven't seen those in a while. And the story before Hellraisers, there was an author, Clive Barker, and Clive Barker became more and more famous throughout the 80s because Stephen King says this guy's even better than me now. And Clive Barker was released a whole bunch of more gruesome, bizarre image stuff. Even though Stephen King has some really gross stuff too, especially the stuff with the can opener and Lindsay's story, I think it was. That was bad. Now in this one, he would release stuff like the Books of Blood, and then when it says people are like Books of Blood, whenever they're open, they're red, which I thought is really a brilliant thing. And they had so many things. I remember the very first thing I read, I think I bought Volume 3 first, was Son to Celluloid. And I was really impressed with that. And then, of course, Rawhead Rex came out. And there was a whole bunch of other ones. And in doing a review, the very first Clive Barker movie I saw was Rawhead Rex. It came out. Actually, the very first Clive Barker movie is Transmutations in '85. And I saw that in Germany, and I hated it. I thought it was a horrible film. Okay, that's not on. And then I saw Rawhead Rex. I remember renting on video, because I read the story, and my friend John Walkwitz read the story. And it was released on Vestron Video. I remember renting it from Home Video Exchange, otherwise known as Lampman's. That's what John called it. And I only saw it that one time. Then years later, a few months back, John bought it on DVD, and we reviewed it again. And it was like a lot. I mean, well, to see our reactions of the movie, just check out the video. John and I reviewed Rawhead Rex. And that was released, Rawhead Rex, well, Transmutated was 85. Rawhead Rex was released April 17th, 1985. I don't know if it was direct to video. I don't know if it played in theaters, because I know I didn't see any ads for it or anything like that. And that's back when Mom and Dad was still together, and they had the Showtime. I used to check out Showcase every Thursday. And also I checked out the movies, because they used to have like the ads for movies, especially the drive-in movies. They used to have great horror movie ads. I know my mother would probably kill me. I used to cut out, whenever they were done with the pay, I used to cut out the ones for the horror movies and put them on my book bag covers. In school, I did it 5th, 6th, 7th grade. Like re-release The Dawn and the Day, Together at Last, like Dawn of the Dead and Mother's Day. I didn't see those movies till much later when we got a VCR. A whole bunch of other movies and stuff like that. And then Hellraiser came out September 17th of 1987. Now, I was supposed to go I went to the Army in November 22nd of 1987. And I know when Hellraiser came out through New World Pictures, it was a big hit. And I didn't see it, though. It was a big hit movie. And it was weird because went in the Army, basic training, and then like I probably was one of the very only people that have the story about this, because during the holidays and stuff like that, we were in the reception stage for like 7-8 days because of the weekend and Thanksgiving. Well, Thanksgiving was that day, we had that day, and then the weekend. And they actually had a movie playing, and we'd go see the movie. And some people have detail, and some people want it. And then usually you're in the reception stage at Fort Jackson, usually 2 or 3 days. And then you're off the base train. But we were there for a while. And then we went to basic training. And then, like, right around Christmas time, we had, like, the whole place shut down. So we actually had leave during basic training. Not too many people had that, and it was 13 days, I think, like that. And I bought my ticket. I remember we all bought tickets to fly home, and I got home, and then we got back. And again, going back sucked. Some people didn't bother to go back, and the drill sergeant said that we weren't allowed to be too tough on you because we were afraid that whenever you come back, some people wouldn't come back. And then they were really tough on us when we came back. But I thought they were tough on us before. Well, anyways, I got home, and I remember one night staying up. I think we went to. I remember renting, going back to Lampman's and renting movies. And I had my trench coat and my haircut, and they had the movie Hellraiser on VHS. I wanted to rent. I rented it. I rented it along with that, Witchboard, and Easy Money, the Rodney Dangerfield movie. And I think before that, I went to my Aunt Dorothy's, I think at midnight. This could be another cage, but they had like Sloppy Joes and a crock pot or something like that. Really good. I think we saw Hellraiser, and then they went to do that, and then we came back and watched Witchboard, and the other one at my old place, an old house I grew up in, well, from 76 to 90, and just with my dad. I think that might have been the last time I rented movies from Lampman. I can't remember. Home video was changing in Edinburgh because I was in the Army. Okay, now I'm getting off track now. With Hellraiser, I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to see it again. And it concerns this couple. Well, it starts out with this guy, Frank, buying this puzzle box. He goes, "What's your pleasure, son?" And he hands him this thing and says, "I bought a box," and the guy said it was always yours to begin with, or something like that. And you see him messing around with the puzzle box, and all of a sudden, like, he releases the Cenobite, and you hear the sound, dun, like that, and you see all these, the hooks going through them and stuff like that. It's like really messed up. It's really cool. And like a lot of these movies are not for the squeamish, by the way. And it cuts to this one couple going to this house, and a married couple, a father and he remarried and he had his daughter, and the girl Julia, I believe it was Julia, and she cheated on him with Frank. And Frank must be some type of criminal because he has like switchblade like that. She had memories of making out with him. And they go to this house that Frank apparently had. He said he pulled a big disappearing act, and he said a house that they grew up in, and their mother died, and the guy got the house. Larry got the house, and the house is very strange and stuff like that. It would raise a lot of red flags, but it's a horror movie. You have to watch it. It's a horror movie. And there's a part where they were moving this bed, and there was a nail sticking out, and all of a sudden a guy cut his hand off. Oh, man, Julie, I cut myself. And he went in this room, and he dropped blood on it. And that's the room where that guy got taken away by the Cenobites, Frank. And then that drop of blood, you see like a heart beating underneath it. It brought him back, kind of. And they see like a big monster coming. Now, this is before CGI for all the young people out there. These are all practical effects that gave a more organic feel to it. But a big monster come out like that. And it turned out it was Frank, and it was like his face was all like, his body was like, they did like a bodysuit, which was really neat with no skin or anything like that. And they did a really good job showing the veins, making it glisten and stuff like that. They're really good at that, doing that in science fiction movies, making all the aliens look super slimy and stuff like that. Glistening like blood. It was very good, very great makeup work. And Julie stumbles in and says, "Julie, it's Frank." And she freaks out and stuff like that. And she says, "I need your help." And then, because she's kind of really, I don't know, she's messed up. And she said, "Okay, I'll help you." And she decided to bring guys over to Frank. And he killed them to try to get, bring his body back all the way up. And then get skin and stuff like that, be human again. and he actually escaped the Cenobites. You see, like Pinhead and the other people and the Chattering Teeth guy. And what happens is a bunch of other stuff happens. She gets the daughter actually. Well, they kill the guy and he comes back, and then he freaks out his. They actually kill Larry, the girl's husband, and he's really good. He plays a good guy, but he plays very evil looking when he becomes a bad guy. I don't want to give away too much more, but I mean the Cenobites are really cool in this one. I mean, I like they have like the light design. They have that bloom, bloom, bloom. You don't hear that in any other of the Hellraiser movies. I think that's a huge mistake. I love that sound. And then they, even with Law and Order, they'd have like these are the stories of the defendant that go dun dun like that. It's really neat. I love the Hellraiser. I give that a 10 out of 10 because I don't want to give. I was actually going to tell the whole story. I don't want to give away too much. No spoilers here. I mean, you have to check out the movie for yourself. Now, the second one, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, was a mystery as to when. I should look when that played in theaters. Let me see. Hellraiser 2. Said December. Really? Let's see. Huh. I'm trying to think. Because I was looking for a release date for Hellraiser 2. It said December 23rd, 1988. Because it was a real mystery to me with... no, Roger Ebert gave it 0.5 out of 4. When that came out to me, because I was in Fort Detrick, Maryland at the time. Not Fort Detrick, Maryland, Fort Gordon, Georgia. See, I got confused. I used to go to the main theaters. I mean, while they'd have like the military theater, they had 2 military theaters, and then you take the bus out to the mall, and they had like a Metroplex, or like, well, it played 6 movies, I think, like that. And that was the biggest one I've seen. I think it played 6 movies. And I remember going to see a bunch of movies like Big and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I saw Waxwork, which was really cool. Vestron Movies Waxwork at the theater. And some other movies. Arthur 2 on the Rocks, Crocodile Dundee 2. And I remember the trailers, they always had the trailer for Hellbound Hellraiser 2. I said, I want to see this movie. And it was really weird because I just wanted to see it. And then when I got home from the Army, well, not home, on leave after I left AIT, you know, I wasn't playing any theaters or anything like that. Now it said the release date was December 23rd, 1980. I don't know if that's for the theater or... maybe it was in the theater and stuff like that, but I don't remember playing in the theater. But I was in Germany at the time, and it did not play at the military theater, at least not to my knowledge. And the weird thing is, where the heck's Hellraiser 2? I don't know what happened to it. I wanted to see it. I know my roommate, Jeff Moscone, was a big Hellraiser fan. He said he wanted to see a second one. So I don't know. I saw a bunch of trailers. I don't know. I never seen it played in the theaters. I never saw it in the video. And then my friend Tony Cook, Specialist Cook, said, well, that's been released on VHS for a while. I said, when did you get that? He said he had copies of it. I said, could I borrow it and make a copy of my own? I had 2 VCRs, because I used to do that, make copies of stuff. You know, that was the thing people did back then, you know. Yeah, he said he had like a copy of the first one and the second one back to back. And the second one was unrated cut. I remember recording that finally, and then Jeff and I, we worked the same shift, and it was weird because we were shift workers, and then a lot of times you had to be up at a certain time early in the morning, even though you had to work midnight to like 8 to 6, or 12 to 8, or whatever. And a lot of times we were tired, and we would watch that because we were roommates too, and we had fallen asleep. And not saying it took us a while to finally watch the whole thing, and we loved it. Now with Hellbound Hellraiser 2, it's a much more expanded. I want to see what Roger Ebert says. Wait a second. 5'8", Roger Ebert. Let me see. Generally speaking, there are two kinds of nightmares: the kind you actually have, and the kind that they make in the movies. And the frustrating loved one is trying to sell you something and you can't. Embarrassing ones is some of they turn up in movies, but however contain the kind of that only occur in movies because our real dreams have low budgets and we can't afford. Oh, that's. Yeah, he said Hellraiser 2 contains the kind of nightmares that occur only in movies because our real dreams have low budgets and we can't afford expensive special effects. Yeah. Well, wait, let me see. Well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of I'm reading some. I'm getting distracted. But with Hellraiser, I mean, it occurs soon after the events of the first Hellraiser that one girl is put in an insane asylum, and the doctor finds out about the puzzle book, and she tells him all these stories, and he wants some items from the house. I don't want to give away too much because it's and then he is interested in seeing if all this is true. He wants to experience hell with the puzzle box, and there's this one girl that is mute, who hasn't talked in a long time, and she's had some traumatic experiences that's in there, and she's good at solving puzzles. So he gives her that puzzle box, and she solves it, and she brings back the Cenobites, and they open up this world, and these people get trapped in this big labyrinth with all the gruesome going on. I mean, the second one is very over the top, very gruesome and gory. And it tells a really neat story. I mean, like I said, the doctor is in, and to think I hesitated. Those are some quotes from that. It's weird because I have to keep these videos very vague because I don't want to give away any spoilers. It's no fun. It's about exploration of the journey. I love this one too. I still think the first one's better because you didn't know that much about it. The second one's a little bit in on the joke, but it expands on the territory they had. And I really enjoyed the second one too. I give that a 10 out of 10 also, but not as strong a 10 out of 10 as the first one. What else? Now let me see. Now that came out in 88. Let me see the release date for Hellraiser 3 because... Let me see. Release date. And also there's a bonus TV show review at the end of this. So you can find out which one. Hellraiser. No, I don't want to care about that. No, I do want to see Hellraiser Judgment, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Hellraiser 3. Okay. Yeah, that was supposed to be it, because that one came out December 23rd, 1980, and then that was it. And then Hellraiser 3 Hell on Earth came out back in September 11th of 1992. And then that was a continuation, but it was a lot different than the other two. I think the first two are the real, true Hellraiser ones. A lot of the other Hellraiser movies, not the first four, but after that. The first four are ones that went to theaters. I don't know any theater that played the third. I know Mill Creek 3 played Hellraiser 4 Blood Run. It only played for a week, and it didn't do very well. But, the other ones were all released on DVD. And they were in name-only sequels. And then you'll see Pinhead appear briefly in them. And then, in Revelations that came out in 2011, which I bought the DVD for that. It was $7.50. A lot of people hated that. That didn't have Doug Bradley as Pinhead. And then the new one, Hellraiser Judgment Day, doesn't have Pinhead in it either. I wonder what they think of Hellraiser Judgment Day anyways. I haven't seen that. That's the only one I haven't seen. Because I do want to see that. Razor Judgment. You got 4.3. That's not too good. 50% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me see. Because that doesn't have Doug Bradley. 39% liked it. That doesn't have Doug Bradley. But I still want to see the movie. So, like I said, they brought it back. Just like with Halloween. Halloween was over with Halloween 2, the Michael Myers thing. Then they had Halloween 3 and the Season of the Witch, and then '88 they brought Michael Myers back in Halloween 4. So they did bring the movie back. So there's my reviews of the first two. I consider the first two Hellraiser the really true Hellraiser movies, and then the third and fourth one are similar to Hellraiser, and then the other ones are just like in name only sequels, in my opinion. I have not seen Hellraiser Judgment though, so I leave my judgment to when I see it eventually. I don't know when that'll be. Now the TV show review is called. I have to watch my language. I'm going to say Sheets Creek, but it's spelled like the swear word, and the spelling is SCHITT-S Creek. But I'm going to say Sheets, like the gas station, or Shites, like they say in Britain, for the TV show. And the TV show has Eugene Levy in it and Catherine O'Hara, and that's what really interests me in the show, because I was a huge fan of SCTV growing up. I love that show. And it was like a Canadian version of Saturday Night Live, kind of. But it was on Friday nights on NBC. And then NBC ended up taking off the air because they said it was too expensive to produce, and it was cheaper to produce an episode of Saturday Night Live. Because like SCTV, it'd be like $250,000 to produce an episode or more. Where Saturday Night Live, it took them like $150,000 to produce an episode. And this is back when they started having tour duty on CBS, which cost $1 million an episode. Most expensive TV show at that time back in the 80s. Well, anyways, it's a really good show. Them and their kids, and then one son is played by his actual son, and he's very good in it too. And it's like father and the mother and the son and the daughter. Sound like Bill Cosby and the daughter. They're very rich, and then they get audited by the FBI and IRS, and they take everything, including the doors. And what happens is they talk to a lawyer and said, "Man, what are we gonna do?" And the lawyer said, "Well, you have one option. There's a place you can live virtually for next to nothing, and it's this town that you bought back a long time ago. And he bought it for his son as a joke. And they were the owners of this town. They never went to it, and then they were forced to live there in a motel free because, for the most part, free because they owned the town." And then they deal with like the mayor, played by Chris Ellie, who's very good in it, and all of the goofy characters. This is kind of like Newhart, but kind of like not. A very entertaining show. I really like it. It's pretty funny. I think you'll like it. It's really good. I told my sister and Roland about it, and then I guess Roland was on the fence for a while, and then he finally said, like, freshly original and stuff like that. We love the show. Shout out to Jace Count for recommending this to us. I had a feeling my sister would like it. And I give Sheets Creek a 9 out of 10. It's on Netflix right now, and they're really blowing through the seasons, the episodes. There's like, I think 39 or 40 episodes on it. And I got to catch up with them. I think they're on like 28 right now. I'm like 7 or 8 or something like that. I started watching the show before them. But it's very entertaining, from Canadian TV, and you see like the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. I remember that logo because back in the 80s we didn't have cable. We had, well, I guess what was eventually called farmer's cable with just the antenna, on chimney. We had like a big house in Cranesville at the time. Oh, wow. And what was I going to say now? Ian's live. I got to talk with him. But now I forgot what I was going to say. We got Canadian Broadcast. There was Channel 10 that had like Canadian Broadcast Corporation. So I remember that logo from there. So I hope you like this revisiting of Hellraiser and Hellbound Hellraiser 2, and also a review of Sheets Creek. And I'm only censoring myself because YouTube is getting really weird about cursing and stuff like that. I wish they wouldn't give creators more freedom and stuff like that. It's very restricting. Because I don't usually curse that much in my videos anyways. But if need be, if I don't have to worry about repercussions. It's really silly. So I hope you like this review, movie review. and a bonus TV review. Until next time, like I said, take care. Now check it out live.